Welcome back to the studio. My name is Jaco. This is my workshop. Joining me today again is Damia. Hello, Damia.
Hey guys.
In today's video, we're dealing with a 3-stone diamond ring with some old diamonds. These all come through the family towards this ring, which is really sort of one of the reasons why I really appreciate the kind of work that we do. Each customer tells me exactly what they want with their rings. In this particular case, I know that the customer rows. I know that the customer spends lots of time in the gym, and I also know that the customer has told me specifically that she's very hands-on. So we needed to scale it up slightly. Everything about the ring is classic, as I would put it. Everything about this ring, even though it looks delicate, is going to be sturdy. Let me show you what I've done here. This particular customer had this ring previously made, or a similar ring previously made by another goldsmith. They were unhappy about this. And just as a side note, we don't criticize other people's work. For the reason that we weren't involved in that conversation, I would never break down the work of another goldsmith. However, I'll try and listen to the customer and see how we can apply exactly what they wanted. Everything, like I say, has been scaled up. Typically, I wouldn't go as big as I've gone on these claws, for instance, but the claws need to be slightly chunkier. I can't make a chunky ring and put delicate claws on it because the balance wouldn't be there. So the idea was to basically take everything and just scale it up absolutely fractionally. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the cones where the stones are going to lie on. The cones top before the taper needs to be the same diameter as the diamonds. I create 3 of these. From the sketch, from the design, I'm now measuring how thick I wanted the first layer, the little bed where the stones lie on, to be. Like I've said before, we made these slightly chunkier. If a wire breaks away from a fine, delicate thing, it's going to be doing that easier than what it does if it had a little bit more real estate where it was lying on. So all 3, the tops are made. Where I've made the solder is where I'm going to mark with my punch where I want to put the wire. I'm hiding the soldering behind the wire. That way we make the entire piece completely open. There won't be a chance that when we're polishing that there's a slight mark coming out on the side. Once I've got my 3 parts where the stones lie on, I bring the wires down and I'm soldering them together. Because you've got an angle on the first one, the second one's angle will automatically sit on that first angle, and that will create my perfect little area where I can then solder them together. I've cut these little wires off in a slight rounding. I took a fine file and I rounded that to a basic rounding. I created the little part where it's going to be soldered on. I put a piece of sandpaper over it, and I've taken these wires that I filed and I'm rubbing it on the top to make sure that all the wires work down to the same curvature as the ring that I'm going to be soldering them on. I used this black marker on the bottom of the actual wires to make sure that all of them rub down at exactly the same point. If I see the markings haven't gone away, I know that this one is still a bit short. I do this until all of them are perfectly filed, remove the sandpaper, and then bring the 2 parts together. looks like I've got this massive thing underneath where I'm putting the claws on top of it. But once I've soldered them all together on this piece that's pre-prepared and on size, I can then start shadowing the actual top down to the bottom, basically removing anything extra than what I need. All of this was a lot of trouble to get there, so rather go very slowly to make sure that you got your right angles and everything. In order for you to be able to make sure that it looks like this is all one piece, and I'm really highly advise this tip because in the beginning I've made this mistake many times over. Don't start with drilling the holes. Do all your filing first, and once you've done all the filing, turn it around and then very slowly start enlarging the holes from the middle outwards to make sure that you've got a nice little groove from the inside of the ring. That's symmetrical and it's not out of shape, it's not too far. A lot of people will go too far when they do it beforehand because you're filing and you can't really reduce the hole once you've done it. First file, turn it around, then make a very small hole and enlarge it to be appropriate for what you're looking at. I think we might have mentioned this in one of our previous videos. Every step that you're taking with a piece of jewelry needs to be done as a project on its own. If you want to learn more about this, if you don't know what we're talking about, have a look at this video over here about working clean. It's not a ring yet unless we got a shank. One of the things that you can do to break the bulkiness of a ring is by taking the shank and giving it a rounding. In our case, we're going to give it a knife edge. What I mean by that is a very gentle rounding to a spine at the top. We've done this with that pendant we did as well. A very gentle rounded edge like this towards the top. What does it do? It takes a very chunky band that we've made and it breaks it into a delicate visual effect so that it fools the eye that the ring is delicate, but we know
that it's robust.
It's robust. So we got quite a bit of height because of the hammering to shape that top part. We wanted to meet and strengthen from the bottom with a gap and also meet up to the top part where the stone is seated and bring that down gently but not too harshly because we're looking for that strength down to the bottom. We've got quite a chunky shank. Where I'm going to hide that is I'm going to round the inside of the shank and then bring that rounding to an end as it comes up towards the top. So we got longevity and strength on the ring. It's exactly what the customer wanted. We followed the design. I've sent it off. This is what it looks like, guys. Every week we do this, we bring new things to the channel, and thank you very much once again for all the views. Thank you for all the subscribers. If you would like to always see this content, please hit the bell icon. We want to make more videos like this all the time. That'll be the dream. Until next Sunday, cheers! And peace keep in, please, peace?
Peace.
Peace.
Peace keep in mind.
There was no noise.
Oh, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
No, is that recording?
Yeah,
Is it?
it is indeed. I thought you went to my noise.